Surfboard Boogie by Mier. Let's take a look at this score before we figure out how to play it. And I think it's important that you know where to place your hands. So I'm going to circle the treble C, which is in the right hand, and that's played by finger 5. And in the left hand, I have a low C here. So they sound this way. Here's middle C sound. And that is going to be, that would have been here in the middle of the piano. And then this C here is treble C. And the C down here, there's bass C. And the C that Martha wants you to use is low C. So, low C, which again is this one, bass C, which is this one, middle C, which is this one, and treble C, which is this one. All right. Now, I would suggest you go through and circle all of the C's, treble C's. In the right hand, you'll notice that it is pretty, and then when you get moves up a step, doesn't it, from that line, that space treble C, and it moves up to the line D. So your pinky is going to move from here to here. Then it goes back down to that treble C, and it continues throughout this whole page. So that's a pretty important note. Note below it, you can. So I'm looking at this note here, and I'll change the color so you can see what I'm talking about. So we now want to find this note here. We call that a sixth below that green note. You can count it down. There's a treble C, and there's the line. There's the space, there's the line, there's the space, and there's the line. Do and down to me. Remember that this C here, we are in C do. So that's another way to figure it out. All right, and that, now one other thing to notice is that you've got these ties. And a tie means to hold it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you do it again, etc. All right, let's take a look at something else that we see on here, and that is this flat sign. So what we were playing was an E or a me, and that flat sign means to take the note that is directly to the left, down a half a step, and in this case it is a black key. So my thumb, which was over here, is now going to move to here, which is a black key. And to do that, you're going to move in. Slide your thumb in, and I'll show that to you in a moment. And then when you come back down here, you'll see there is another sound, which is a natural sign, and that means to play a white key again. So the thumb slides back to that E. Now when you move over to, from this E up to this G, you notice it goes from line to line. So it goes from me to so, or up a skip, and again you'll use your thumb. And then you're back to that other one. There's a flat sign again. So again you're sliding in, and there's the natural sign. So you want to practice all of those motions. Now in the left hand, we're starting on that low C, and you'll notice, let's get a new color, how about blue? You'll notice that we've got an interesting fingering down here. Oh, well, not blue, but that's close. And I noticed that I have a do, mi, so pattern right here. And that's repeated every single time we hear that lick. All right? But the fingering is 5, 4, 2. And that way you've got enough room to play the next two notes, which gives us that jazzy sound. And G, A, B flat, and then we have another B flat. Then we have this little tie here. That means we do not play this note again, but we come back down. Notice this is a crossover of a fingering here. You're going to cross your 2 over. When you go up, you're going to come down with the same fingering. All right. Then we take the same pattern and we do it on F. And then we go back to C. Over to G. Now watch out, the pattern changes here, and this is where it changes. That is a C sharp, and a sharp means that you take the note and you move it up a half a step. So that is bass C, and now it's going from C to C sharp. Oopsie. Let me make this small again. There we go. So I'll do that part again. And here we have a bass C. And you're going do, fa, fa, do. All right, so there's our first part. Let's go over to the second page. And you notice in the left hand, we've got our low C again. Let's go back to our red. And in the low C, it's way down there. And that's do and so. And then it moves to open 5th to F, F. And back to the do, so. And then to a G. And this follows our basic jazz, and it goes down to F. Then we have this pattern that looks kind of similar to what we had before, and down to the low, and then these 2 notes. These notes are E and A. Now in the right hand, we've got an interesting thing. Let's get a new color again. Let's use green. So I'm looking at this pattern here, and it's mi, so, do. Now if I take a 1 chord, which is C major, do, mi, so, all I'm doing is I'm taking these 3 notes and I'm changing the order. They call this a first inversion. And I'm arpeggiating. Now I could play it even, but Martha wants it to be swung. She changes that thumb, she makes it flat, so you slide in. And then look over here, she's back to the white key, and then she moves to a G major chord. And she uses that same rhythm. And at the end, she's got, and here we are on C again. Then at the end, she has what's called a chromatic scale. And it starts on the G, goes down a half step, comes back to the G, and ends up on that treble C. Now, those sharps mean to play black keys, and notice the fingering. That fingering is a typical chromatic scale fingering. The thumb plays the white keys, the 3 plays the black keys, and then she goes to a re. And that's basically what I see here, besides the fact that there are dynamics. So let's go do that before we're done. When we go back, she starts with a forte. When you get to the next page, she says to play a little softer. There's that flat. Now she says get louder, forte. Now she has a little word here. It says R-I-T right there. And she says to get quieter. And at this point, she wants you to put down the pedal, catch that sound, and add this quiet sound like that. This piece is a lot of fun to learn. I hope you enjoy it.